Hello everyone, today I'd like to do a photo reference speed painting using some imagery that I took when I was out in France in Annecy, the animation festival. There was a pretty nice church there, so I took a shot of that. And as you can see, the church itself is lit mostly by natural light that streams in the windows here and here and there and there. There's a little bit of artificial light in there, but the predominant light source is natural light, and that natural light source is only striking a few areas. So I'm going to start by filling the whole thing with black because, well, the surroundings are mostly black. Um, on the other hand, if I was outdoors on a daylight scene, then I might start with something that was white and then work from light to dark. But I'm going to hit the brightest of the brights, which are the light sources themselves. And we've got the light that's streaming in from the side as well. I had to find out, how is this working? And another thing that I got to do is I have to, whenever I place any line, let me cut that off. This is the archway that cuts it. And I don't worry about keeping things curved. Sometimes I'll just, I'll do it in, I'll use straights. One of the things I got to do is defocus my eyes. Because when I defocus my eyes, when I look at this image, the problem is when your eyes are focused, it's too easy to pay attention to one tiny little area and ignore your peripheral vision because your central vision is much more acute than it's much sharper than your peripheral vision. And that can be a problem when you're trying to get an image that looks good overall because you'll need your central vision for, touching up small areas, but it's too soon for me to get into small areas. I need to get an overall picture quickly. So I'll defocus my eyes whenever I look at this picture, and I'll defocus my eyes when I'm looking at this picture here, the one that I'm painting, to figure out where I have to go next. But then I will sharpen my vision. I'll focus when I know what I have to do. I'll defocus to get an idea of the pictures. Okay, so I'm just working with my eyes defocused and refocus. It's something that you have to get used to doing. Okay. I'm still working with this lit color as well. I'm not really trying to, we have this lit thing here in the foreground. There's the underside of the archway here. See that? There's the underside of that archway. That comes around and lights that. Also it comes around and lights that. You notice how with my brush, the more pressure I apply, the brighter it is. So this is how I, do that. I think I need to raise the light source just a bit. Just because I have to make this archway go all the way around. Okay, and then I need to trim this as well. So the problem is just moving these light sources. So this is another good reason to work with just the one lit color at the very beginning, because right now I'm still trying to place everything and find where to put everything. So I work in this manner of using just the one color to make sure I can get at least, see that's off center. I can get at least one color that is properly placed. Okay, let's see. What else do I have? Okay, so I was looking at these here. So it starts down darker and it becomes lighter. So this entire piece here, you have to try and see it as a single brush stroke. So and not only that, look how this piece here is broken up but then continues up there. So in essence, this entire archway is one large brush stroke. So I'm going to have to eliminate these, and now oops, do it like that. So same deal, I gotta come down and light it, go to the bottom and make my way up. So I'm going to defocus my eyes to figure out where the beam should start and see the whole overall thing. Then I'll sharpen my focus. There. Then I can go in and I can, with the black, and I can chop it up, figure out where do I chop it up to. Ah, there's that line right there. So I'm going to defocus my eyes to get the right positioning. That looks about right. And then how high should I chop it? Down about there. So had to be really careful when you're painting. Now what do I have here? This bright line, this is the sideways edge. Okay, so that's the sideways edge up there, but then we have this other facing edge that's facing us. And look again, see how it becomes bright and it goes all the way down there? You know, you have to see this as one big brush stroke, and then it's broken up. So it's the same deal. I have to see how this is lit and comes down to where? Where's the bottom? Maybe about there. So I'm going to try and hit this in one stroke. Too bright. It's too bright. So I had to soften my brush stroke. And that's not all. It becomes brightest here, then it starts to dim out again. So it might take two strokes. So one that's going to go bright there, then another one is going to brighten up and meet it. So that brightens, and then the other one's going to come up and meet it. So in speed painting, the key is not to be fast. The key is to do it in as few strokes as possible and make sure that those few strokes are very accurate, rather than sitting there and trying to fumble until you get it right. So I'm just fixing those little areas up. Back at the white again. Let's look, there's the altar down there. So a few areas that are lit. Ah, there's the floor. I totally neglected the floor. So same thing, I'm going to defocus my eyes. Well, let me put some more black at the bottom. Defocus my eyes. I'm still using white. And maybe I can get it in one stroke. Maybe not. No, it won't work in one stroke. So what I'll use is I'll use a very small brush. I'll mark the end, and then I'll start and figure out how wide my stroke is, and then narrow it up as I get there. In fact, I think what I should do is make the stroke wider than I need it, and then narrow it up, then take the black and chop it. But I should make it really a lot wider. Okay, there, now it's much wider than I need, and now I can afford to. There's the vertical. See that? These pews have a vertical on them. And then there's the part that is aligned with the ground that I'm going to put in like that. Whew! Alright. Back to the work. So it's a very thought-heavy process doing things this way. But it hasn't even been 10 minutes. Well, it's just 10 minutes now.